Deep in the heart of Maharashtra, nestled amongst ancient trees, lay the village of Nandgaon. Small and secluded, it held secrets whispered on the wind. Tales of shadows and spirits passed down through generations painted Nandgaon with an unsettling mystique. The most haunting tale, however, was that of Chirandha, a woman in a white saree, they said, appearing on misty nights. Her face, always veiled, hid features unknown. Some whispered she was a protector, others a harbinger of doom, but all agreed her presence meant a change was coming. Diwali arrived, painting Nandgaon in vibrant hues of celebration. Firecrackers lit up the night sky, their echoes swallowed by the dense forest surrounding the village. Laughter and music filled the air, a stark contrast to the usual eerie silence. Amidst the joyous chaos, young Rajan remained skeptical. A city boy visiting his grandparents, he scoffed at their tales of Chirandha. Ghosts and spirits were mere stories, he argued, figments of imagination in the darkness. His grandparents, their faces etched with years of wisdom and worry, simply shook their heads. The night was young, and Diwali, they knew, held its own magic. As the night deepened, a thick fog rolled in, blanketing Nandgaon in an ethereal shroud. The air, heavy with the scent of burnt firecrackers and damp earth, turned colder. Rajan, separated from the festivities, found himself walking home alone, the path barely visible in the dense fog. His earlier confidence wavered with each step. The playful shadows cast by the flickering diyas now seemed menacing, stretching and twisting like phantoms in the mist. The distant laughter from the village faded, replaced by an unsettling silence broken only by the rustling of leaves. Fear, cold and unwelcome, began to creep into Rajan's heart. The ancient banyan tree at the edge of the village loomed ahead, its gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. An unnatural stillness clung to the clearing beneath it. Rajan's pace slowed, his breath catching in his throat. He could feel eyes on him, watching from the swirling fog, and then he saw her. Beneath the banyan tree, a figure stood draped in a white saree. Her back was to him, her long hair cascading down like a black waterfall. The sight sent a jolt of terror through him, stopping him dead in his tracks. This was no ordinary woman, this was Chirandha. Section 5. Flight through fear, no escape from terror. Rajan didn't hesitate. He turned and ran, his heart pounding in his chest. The fog clung to him, thick and suffocating, as if trying to hold him back. He didn't dare look back. The image of the figure in white seared into his mind. The sound of his own ragged breathing echoed in his ears, a frantic rhythm against the silence of the forest. He burst into his grandparents' house, slamming the door shut behind him. His chest heaved, his body trembled. He had seen Chirandha, the ghost he didn't believe in, and in that moment fear, raw and consuming, took root in his soul. His grandparents listened, their faces etched with a familiar dread. They knew what this meant. Chirandha's appearance was not a tale, not a myth. She was real, and her presence was an omen, a harbinger of misfortune. The villagers believed Chirandha's appearance foreshadowed a death, a tragedy that would befall Nandgaon. Fear, like a contagious disease, spread through the village. The joyous Diwali celebrations ceased, replaced by hushed whispers and anxious glances. Doors were bolted, prayers were chanted, and offerings were left at the temple. Everyone waited, holding their breath for the other shoe to drop. Rajan, once a skeptic, now found himself haunted by the memory of Chirandha. His laughter was gone, replaced by a nervous silence. His eyes, once bright with youthful curiosity, now darted around, searching for shadows in every corner. Each day that passed, he seemed to grow weaker, his skin paler, a constant tremor shaking his hands. He refused to leave the house, terrified of encountering Chirandha again. The villagers whispered, their voices laced with pity and fear. Chirandha's curse, they murmured, had touched him. He was fading, his life force draining away. Diwali ended, its vibrant lights extinguished, its joyous echoes replaced by an unsettling quiet. The fog that had clung to Nangarn for nights finally lifted, revealing a village shrouded in fear. Life went on, but the shadow of Chirandha's appearance lingered. The villagers, once carefree and joyful, now moved with a quiet apprehension. The laughter of children was subdued, their games confined within the safety of their homes. The spirit of Diwali, the festival of light, had been snuffed out, replaced by a chilling premonition of darkness to come. Rajan, his health deteriorating with each passing day, remained bedridden. His grandparents, their faces etched with worry and sorrow, could only watch helplessly as the life seemed to drain from him. Whether it was the fear, the legend, or something more, Chirandha's appearance had left an indelible mark on him. As the days turned into weeks, the villagers whispered that perhaps Chirandha's warning wasn't of death, but of something far worse. A creeping dread settled over Nangarn, a constant reminder that in the heart of their joyous festival they had glimpsed something sinister, something ancient and unknowable. And in the pale, trembling form of Rajan, they saw the lingering consequences of looking into the face of fear itself.